Hey guys, it's Sydney, and I am super excited because this weekend it is finally here. The Great Media Comic Con in Media, Pennsylvania will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I'm super excited, and I wanted to repost the podcast that Frankie and I did with Mark Gervais, who is the creator of the Comic Con, and let you guys catch it if you didn't the first time so you can see what it's all about. It's going to be so much fun, and I am really looking forward to it. In addition to what we talked about on the podcast, I also wanted to include that my friend Leah Savoli is going to be there doing the panels. You might know her from Deadwood. You might know her from Robot Chicken. She's not only the reason that I went to the con last year to go and support her as a celebrity guest, but this year she's also part of the team putting on the Comic-Con. And on Friday, they're going to have the trailer for Delco the movie playing before the Back to the Future feature. And she's the producer of that movie as well. So I wanted to give some props to Leah for everything that she's doing for the Comic-Con, because I don't know how she has all the hours in the day. But also check out our interview with Mark. We talk not only about all the really cool stuff that's going to be going on at the Comic-Con, they're going to have vendors and artists and food and the panels, like I mentioned, and cosplayers. And it's just going to be a really fun couple days. And it's so affordable to take your family to. So definitely there are tickets still available, and the links for all of that is in the show notes. But definitely check it out again. And the conversation did go to some really important topics as well. It's not all about the Comic-Con, but because the event is this weekend, I just wanted to give it a little bit extra love and post this again. And also, Frankie and I are going to be there interviewing people because it's Wednesday and I still haven't tried the costumes on that I bought. We're going to manifest that they're going to fit. I got Lois Lane, and I also got April from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I'm interviewing people like a reporter. They're like the coolest reporters I can think of from the movies and comics. So I figured I would go with them. But come on out and see all the really cool stuff that's going to be there. And if you see Frankie and I running around, then chat with us too. We can't wait to talk to everybody and see what they're most excited about. So I hope that you enjoy this encore broadcast of episode 8, right? Episode 8? That sounds right. Yeah, with Mark Gervais. Love you guys.
Welcome to Learned in Go-Go, the podcast. Hey, this is Sydnee A. I am your host, and I am the author of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go, How a Preacher's Daughter Pole Danced Her Way to Finding Her True Self. I am super excited for this special Sunday episode. It is me and my producer, Frankie, and we are here to have a fantastic conversation with a new friend of ours. Frankie, you want to come on in too?
Yeah, super pumped up about this one. It's really cool because we've done, I feel like, a reschedule, a schedule of a conversation where you weren't ready for because you had something going on. We had the Partridge in the Pear Tree and, the rest of all those great songs. But we finally got it scheduled. We're finally ready to rock and roll. A little daytime matinee with a good friend of ours. I've got to, learn a bit more about Mark as conversations go on. And we're super pumped up for this one. We got a lot of cool things in store for Mark as well. But before we get into that, make sure you follow Sydnee A on Facebook. She got tons of great content at Learned in Go-Go and on G and on Instagram at Learned in Go-Go. We also have the YouTube channel rocking and rolling. We want to build that as well. Learned in Go-Go, the podcast. That will be scrolling throughout the show. But yeah. Oh, and of course, I always want to mention this. Of course, our wonderful host of the show, Sydnee A, is an incredible author. I have a copy of her book right here next to me at all times, and you should too. Get yourself a copy of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go. Check it out on the website. We obviously always do a little promo for that, but yeah, great book. I read about in my busy schedule. I think I read 6 pages yesterday, so
I was just
we're
going
making
to say,
progress.
are you through the prologue yet? Are you there?
We're getting through it. I learned a lot. I'm learning a lot every day. But
That's awesome.
yeah,
And the
great guest
website
today.
for that is learninggogo.com, just so you know where to pick that up. But we're not here to talk about me.
No,
we're here to learn about Mark. So I cannot wait to bring him on in, Frankie, whenever you are ready.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, I was just going to say, and because this is live, you can ask questions and interact with us. We would love to hear from you guys too. So make sure that you're commenting, and we can bring you on to the show if you're behaving yourself. You know who all I'm talking to. So
yes, especially because we have my audience. Thank you, everybody that's checking in. My man K Woo from the Sons of Ben. What's going on, brother? He's the man. He's the one that does the. He's outrageous. Thanks for checking in, brother. Tough game yesterday with the Union. Thanks for checking on Instagram. But yeah, we gotta get Mark in here. Mark is the founder, runner, organizer,
creator,
the man behind the curtain, creator, the CEO, whatever you want to call him, of the Great Media Comic-Con, which is coming up on April 12th, 13th, and the 14th. Get your tickets now. I mean, this is probably a sold out show. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to be able to fit in there. But let's get him in here right now. I'm super excited. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, our good friend Mark.
Yay, Mark.
Hey, Sydnee. Hey, Frankie. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. I'm so glad we could finally all get together between sickness and schedules. But
it has been a journey. It has been a journey getting here. And I really, from like the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate how patient you guys have been. Because it's definitely been an interesting winter for myself. So, yeah.
Well, one thing that I've learned in life is the only thing that's consistent is that nothing is consistent. Like,
True.
You think you have a plan and the universe was like, ha, you thought. So it's all good. Like we made it now.
We're here.
Yes. And thank you so much for joining us. So to start out, we mentioned the con. We definitely want to talk about that, but we want to know more about you. So what is your background like? I know Media Comic-Con's awesome because it's Delco. But are you a Delco bro? Are you like from around here? Like, give us your background a little bit.
I am a early transplant. So I was actually born in New Haven, Connecticut. And my mother, after 2 weeks of living up there, said I've had enough and relocated the family down here. So I grew up in Broomall. And then I think I was around 16 and we moved to Drexel Hill. And that was kind of my stomping grounds for a while. So, yeah, I guess I'm Delco. I gotta be, right? I mean,
absolutely Delco.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I'm adopted
Excellent.
Delco.
You're adopted because that Delco accent is outrageous on you, dude. Like I've gotten it a couple times.
Yeah.
I love listening to people that have it so strong, and you are probably at the top of my list that has such a strong accent. So I would say you're more than adopted in the family.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say I moved to Delco when I was 33, so I've only been here 15 years, and my husband will not allow me to call myself a Jersey girl anymore. And I'm like, no, I'm always going to be a Jersey girl, but I think I have dual citizenship. You're Delco. You're a Delco. So that's awesome.
I'll take it. I'll take it. It's a win. Absolutely. It's a win. I love Delaware County.
It's an amazing place. It really is. Like people, where you stand. Nobody sugarcoats anything. Like I love it. It's a great place. So did you always have an interest in like the comics and stuff, or is that something that was not in your
definitely. Background? Yeah, I mean I guess it all started. My dad would read like The Hobbit to me as a kid as a bedtime story, which is, by the way, like wildly inappropriate for like a 5-year-old to be listening to The Hobbit. It's terrifying. But I remember like, because he moved out when I was like 6. So, but like I remember him telling us like, I'd be like, tell me about aliens. Tell me about, you know what I mean? So I remember watching the 80s Captain America movie and thought was like, that was legit. And it was terrible. Like if you go back and you watch it, it's really, really bad.
That's hilarious.
But like I grew up in the comic book world. My cousin would give me comic books. anytime I could latch on to something like that, I definitely did. It's been a journey to get to the Comic-Con world, so to speak, because for years, it was like video games. I ran a video game store in media for 4.5 years, very successfully. And then I was also involved in professional wrestling.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
I think for about 4 years. And at one point, we were going to run a show called Delcomania, which was going to be a combined Comic-Con meets a wrestling event. And I'll be honest with you, we had no idea what we were doing. Okay. And it was like we were biting off more than we could chew, 100%. And gracefully, and as much as it caused us panic, COVID happened and shut it down. And I learned so much through the process of doing that, and even through the failure part, where it was like, this is never going to happen. Like, it's too late. The state was shut down for almost a year before we could do events again. So we were focusing on the wrestling part and trying to figure out how to keep the wrestling going. And that was a real task, but we were able to do it. But yeah, it was always in the back of my mind. I had never really been to a lot of Comic-Cons, but me and my friend, I call him Big Jimmy. He's not big anymore. He lost like 80 pounds recently. So now he's skinny. Yeah, he's Skinny Jimmy.
Shout out to Skinny Jimmy. Shout out to Skinny Jimmy.
Skinny Jimmy. I love this guy. This guy has been one of the rocks in my life. We don't even have to talk all the time, but when we're thinking about each other, we call each other. We talk. He's a great guy.
It's great to have that connection.
Yeah, yeah. And after COVID, we just started going to Comic-Cons together. And then he's like, dude, you should run a Comic-Con. And I was like, you're funny, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Get out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. And he's like, no, I really think you should. And then it kind of stuck in my brain. He's like, dude, you know how to bring people in through the wrestling. You've already done that. He's like, people come into the game store just to see you. They bring you Christmas gifts, for the love of God. I used to get Christmas gifts from customers. It was incredible.
Wonderful.
Super wonderful. So, then I kicked the idea around to some friends, and we started to build like a really strong group. And we kicked off last year. It was a 1-day con. And we brought in over 1,000 people.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That's incredible to hear. It really is. And before we get into the con,
I was just going to say, I want to circle back. I messed up.
Obviously, we want to learn more about you. We're going to talk about the con. And once again, we have Mark on, founder, creator, the man behind the curtain of the Great Media Comic-Con, which will be coming up on April 12th, 13th, and 14th. We're going to get more into that in a little bit. But I want to circle back to something that you kind of just said, because we've got to have some conversations and some one-on-ones. But crazy enough, something that we've never talked about. So I used to do some wrestling myself.
Okay.
The outpatient Scotty Ice was a good friend of mine, and Steve the teacher. They were out in
Steve the teacher.
Yeah, so they were big time trainers. They were my trainers. It's funny. I actually just talked to somebody that was a big part of it, who also has a podcast. My name was Salvatore Nunzio, a little mafioso. I was a skinny little 16-year-old, 17-year-old kid, just trying to pay my dues, taking chops, taking bumps, over the top rope, 50-man battle royal.
Where did you train with?
So I trained in Elmer, New Jersey. It was a place called Noopy's Gym. It was on a farm.
I know Elmer. Yep.
Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere, Mark. Yep. So I'll sit. Yeah, but my big trainer was Scotty Ice, outpatient Scotty Ice, Scott Wendell, really good friend of mine. Actually, also how I kind of started playing hockey too as a young lad. But he was my trainer. Dude, you can find him on YouTube. Like, his gimmick was he was an escaped mental patient and he used to come out to Down with the Sickness.
Love it.
He had Pez dispensers that he used to talk to. His gimmick was outrageous. Outrageous. And then Steve the teacher, who also was heavily involved at Noopy's Gym, was also one of my teachers too. Dude, that's such a crazy world. I didn't know that you were involved with that.
Yeah.
I love hearing about that, because that was a cool time of my life. Like, before finding out what you want to do, and I was in the same predicament. Like, I was kind of dabbling in hockey, but wrestling was everything.
Right, right.
Attitude Era, that's what we were enjoying at that time. So who didn't want to do it? So to actually do it and have a match or two, like I said, whether you're paying the dues or not, you're like, man, this is awesome.
Right.
Did you ever have
funny,
any?
I used to.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I actually used to work with a well-known wrestler. He was a DJ at the one bar where I worked. And I tell this, I don't want to name him afterwards, but he knows who he is. But because he was making his money, he had the DJ job just because he was bored. So the one time I'm like, I want to hear Black Number One by Typo Negative. And he's like, well, Christian Woman's a better song. I'm like, I like that too, but I want to hear Black Number One. And he's like, okay. So I get on stage, Black Number One starts playing. He goes, oops, wrong song, and puts on Christian Woman instead. And I was so pissed. I'm just like, so I tipped him $1 so that he knew I didn't forget to tip him. And he chased me out to my car. I said, look, I know you're having fun. Listen to what you want to in your living room. This is my job. And like, we never had a problem after that.
Good for you.
I think, are they the valets, the women that are so his valet I worked with too, and she went by Kimono Wanaleu. So I don't know if you know her at all. Like, she was beautiful Asian woman. She was gorgeous. And like, so that's my wrestling, you know.
We all got ties. That's awesome.
My ex-husband was a huge Ravishing Rick Rude fan. So like, I know all about, you know, Rick, like that era. I grew up in the 80s. So I was, you know, Louis Albano and Hulk Hogan back on the Saturday morning cartoons, you know.
Yeah. He was involved in everything, that guy. Yeah.
I love the morning cartoons too. Just real quick before we continue, we got Mark on. Make sure you give a follow to the Great Media Comic-Con on social media. Already having a good time. Want to thank everybody on Instagram. We have too many to name. There's about 826 people watching live on Instagram. Thank you, everybody. I got my Sons of Ben crew checking in. Thank you, peeps. Tough rain out last night, but you know, we'll be back there on the 30th for Kids Night. Thanks for everybody checking in on Instagram. And yeah, just want to give a little plug. Make sure you follow the Great Media Comic-Con on Facebook, social media. Check Mark's stuff out. He's got a lot going on. And I never know, maybe, you know, small businesses out there, great way to get your name mentioned. Reach out to Mark. He does some sponsors. He'll be back. It's all right.
Okay.
It always happens.
Like,
we'll keep going. No, it's all right. We'll just keep going with the plug. It just happened. Just happened to me the other day. We're still live, people. Don't worry. It's just us now.
It's all good.
But yeah,
we're here.
But
Mark will be back.
Make sure you check him out. You check him out live. Okay, cool. Thank you. Oh, so sorry, message. Make sure, you check out.
There he is.
Check out stuff. But let's get him back on stage here. We just gave him his plug.
Oh,
true.
We both brought you back.
I was trying to my screen. I was getting notifications, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then I clicked the wrong. Oh yeah.
Like, well, that's all he wanted to share with us. Have a great night. No.
He just gave us a great blooper reel. But I mentioned that, you know, I thanked everybody on Instagram for checking in. Gave some plugs. We have about 900 people watching on Instagram right now. So
awesome.
We got ourselves a crowd. But something. Are you doing it, Gizem? Nope.
No, I was just gonna say, like, because we were all talking about wrestling, but we all definitely have something else in common that I know, like, you and I both work out and like have had like weight loss stories, which Frankie has as well. So I was just curious if that's something that you are willing to share, because so many people are struggling with that. Like how you came into working out and taking better care of yourself.
Well, I spent 6 years in the military, so I kind of had a background. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't great in physical shape while I was there until I went overseas. I spent 10 months in Kuwait. And when you spend, you know, a long time in 140 degrees, you lose a lot of weight. So
I
was pretty fit. I think I'm way more, I'm in better shape now than I was even then, just size wise and muscle wise. But I think I started to really, really get into it when I was overseas. I had some really good friends that I worked out with, that we kind of ran things together. And then I wasn't as serious minded about it as I could have been. But I don't know that you know, Kuwait was like the best place to really like get into that kind of mindset. I probably should have been, because, you know, I was a soldier. Right. So
thank you for your service.
You're welcome. but I came home and I went to something called the WITS program to study to be a personal fitness trainer. I went through it. I never finished the course, but I did all the book study stuff. Like I did all that, and I didn't finish the practical. But I had the experience, and so obviously it took a couple years. I went through some changes, and I went through a really hard time in my life and experienced something that fundamentally changed my mindset about who I was as a person. And I have my best friend to thank, and I'll try to tear up every time I talk about it. But I struggled with suicide at one point, and it was a very dark place in my life. And I'll never forget. I didn't get out of bed for almost like 72 hours, and my best friend came over to me, and I'll never forget us sitting on the bed, and he's holding me, and we're crying. We're both crying. And he goes, wake up, wake up. And I just heard that in my head.
Right.
And it was like, literally, I'm telling you, it was like the next day, I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing sit-ups in my house. And I'm like, I've got to change my life. I can't live like this anymore. I can't live like I'm broken, because I'm not.
Right.
And I quickly, I built the gym, and it's still in progress. I went to my basement. I asked my neighbor, who also is a gym rat, and I asked him, I said, hey, man, can I take over the garage? He said, absolutely. I built a
Nice.
gym. Yeah. So I've been, I lost about 30 pounds, and I put on about 15 pounds of muscle since then.
Attaboy.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
I mean, yeah, I absolutely love it. This winter's been a struggle. As you guys know, I've been sick for about 8 weeks.
That's good.
You've been
Yeah.
sick since we met you.
Yeah.
Mark's
Is
been
it
sick since I
us?
met him.
Yeah. So it's been tough. It's been a tough time.
Yeah.
But I'm back in there. I feel great. I'm back to 4 days. I'd like this summer,
Love that.
probably I'll get back to 5 days a week.
I love that.
But yeah, I'm definitely pushing myself. I sit here and research. I've had one of my business partners come in named Sheik. He spent about 8 months with me. He's
Shout
in
out
the
to
best
Sheik.
shape
Shout
of
out
his
to
life.
Sheik.
Yeah, shout out to
Definitely
Big
shout out to
Sheik.
Sheik.
So
Yeah, definitely like Sheik. I want to jump in and thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for your service, Mark. I
yeah,
want to just jump in and chime in because what you just did there, being incredibly vulnerable, talking about suicide, and I obviously not many people on this show know my story too much, but I've had my share of suicide. I've survived 2 suicide attempts in 3 years, going back as early as this past April. So we're coming up on a year from my last attempt, and it was
congratulations.
very. Thank you, brother. And it was very traumatic. Essentially, what brought me out an hour and a half away from my family. Um, and it was the same thing, the same words that you had said, Mark, about you just were not happy with the way things were life and who you were. And that was exactly what I went through. And it took a damn near traumatic, not even damn near, it was a traumatic event to realize like you need help mentally. I have to get help mentally. And I had to start that process so that 2 out of 3 years around my birthday, one being 2 years ago on my birthday, April 30th, and then last year was April 23rd. I'm very open about it, so I just have to give, respect the fact that how open you were because, I do a lot for the mental health community. I've been volunteering for the hotline for the last 4 years.
That's awesome.
It's that important to me. I have a mental health podcast. I mean, so you just open it up like that. I had to give you a thank you for doing that because that's exactly why I do what I do when it comes to the mental health community is get men to be able to be open about it and talk about it. So glad you were still here. So glad we're becoming friends and really appreciate you doing that because hearing a little bit about what I went through, that's exactly why I do it. So you were fighting to end this stigma, my friend, and I love you for that. So I appreciate that, Mark. I just want to,
Yeah.
condone you and give you kudos for doing that because it's not easy.
Um,
I've done a lot of
No,
talking about it, and I appreciate that. Get said. Thank you.
Well, I was just going to say, like, there's 3 of us on this podcast, and all 3 of us have dealt with that. Like, and that's why, to me, I really think just talking about mental health is so important because we need to get to the point where going to a doctor for mental health is no different than going for having a cold or bronchitis, or, you know, like we need
Yeah.
to realize it's that important. And especially, you know, like we all grew up in an age where there wasn't what it is now. Like there's stuff hitting you constantly now, and we're not designed as human beings to filter it that fast. So having, you know, like therapy just available to everyone, I think would make everyone benefit, because then you're not dealing with so many people that are losing their minds, because we're all just so overstimulated at this point. And there is so much negativity that we have to put our own shields up and just be like, pew, pew, pew.
I'm a huge advocate for therapy, for sure. I definitely I was in therapy for, I want to say like 10 months before my therapist said, you graduated.
Well, that good. I never got to graduate. I'm jealous.
Well, the VA does things a little different than normal therapists. So
I do have a funny therapist story, but I want to hear what you have to say first.
So I was, and I can always call her. She's, you know, I've got her number, and if I ever have a relapse or some issue, you know, I can always reach out to her, which is great. You know, I'm very thankful for my time in therapy. I would highly suggest people, if you're struggling, this is to everybody viewing, like, guys, like, reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. You know, I lost a friend last year, and I never got to share my story with him. And yeah, it's tough, and you know, we shared a lot of years together. We weren't, you know, super close there towards the end, but I still to this day wish I had a chance to share my story with him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Frankie, I warned you, buddy.
No, I know you did, and I love it, and I'm right there with you, my brother. I really am, man. Like, I take myself back to those moments, and just like not having that opportunity, it couldn't be more unfortunate. But you know, I'm sure that he's listening. I don't want to. Oh, he's listening to the podcast, but you just saying it aloud, like, people can hear, and you're spreading awareness just by this. And I want to thank everybody for jumping in on IG here. Bill, thanks for checking in. My man, he's down in Clearwater. He's actually the co-host of the mental health podcast that we do.
It's awesome.
Cool.
A couple of my hockey buddies are here. Once again, we got a lot of support from the Philadelphia Union Sons of Ben. Thanks for checking in, guys. Make sure you follow Mark on all of his social media. We got Mark here talking Comic-Con, talking life, and it's been going good so far. But so you mentioned about, like, you know, a relapse. So you're also currently sober too, Mark, correct?
I am, yeah. I don't. I mean, yes, I am sober.
You got no personality anyway, brother. You don't need a cocktail. You're all right.
So I'll be honest with you. That was more like a health thing. I think that really. I mean, my therapist had encouraged it and said, you know, give this up and such and such, and I suffer from PTSD and social anxiety. Social anxiety, for those that don't really understand, means I am super effing friendly, okay? And you guys haven't even met me, but you can kind of tell how I talk. You know, I'm charismatic. I like to talk to people. Obviously, I've done a lot of these podcasts. But there's times where someone like me walks into a room and it feels like everybody's staring at me. And everybody thinks there's something wrong with me, or I say something goofy because I'm a goofball, and I feel like it's like I gotta get out of here. Yeah. So drinking was a way for me to cope with that, because when I was buzzed, I didn't have those same feelings and those inhibitions. I had, oh my God, here we go. I'm not touching the screen. I definitely had a and it wasn't like it was a crutch, but it could be. You know what I mean? And that's where I was with it. And on top of it, I wanted to increase my muscle recovery. So some of the things people don't realize is that alcohol hinders your muscle recovery. It slows you down. And I'm 37. I'm not getting any younger. And I like to lift. And that's my main focus, is I like to lift heavy. I like to kind of body build into that kind of format. That's kind of my lifting stuff. And so it took me longer to recover. I don't want to hinder that. I want the best progress I possibly can. I want to capitalize it before I'm 47 years old, and it's now I'm
Not
working
difficult.
to just keep it up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that's where I was at. And so I kind of just woke up one morning and I said, I'm done. And it's not that I haven't, like, I've had, I went out with some friends and this one guy had like a weird beer or something and I tasted it. I didn't drink it. I just tasted it.
Yeah.
But that was like, I don't miss it.
Okay.
Sometimes I miss the taste, I'll be honest with you, but I don't overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't get crazy for it. And, I'm
There's
so.
nothing wrong with that. I
No,
love
no,
that.
for me, like I started working out. I work out 6 times a day, 6 days a week.
Shit.
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm a head on a stick at this point. 6 times a day. 6 days a week. Except this past week I've been sick and I miss it. But 10 years ago I started working out regularly because my husband and I quit smoking.
Okay.
So a month before we decided to quit smoking, I'm like, I want to be in the habit already before, because I didn't want to just start eating.
Sure.
But my daughter's 20 now, or she's 19. So 17 years ago, I stopped eating sugar. So I don't do cake, cookies, any of that stuff. So then I gave up cigarettes. I gave up soda in 2018. I don't do artificial sweeteners. I drink. That's my last thing. Like I gotta have a vice, but so that's why like it is, but I try to keep healthy because I'm gonna be 49 next week. So I need to stay on it, to like, but it's because I started that long ago. I think that I'm in the habit and that's my choice. And I totally respect your choice. Like when you said that, I'm like, I know I should stop so I recover faster, but I need something.
Everybody has that thing.
Yeah, if you're doing 6 days a week, you're pretty good. Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to judge anybody. I'll tell anybody that.
No, not at all. But like I've been doing just a little plug here for Sean T. He has this new program called Dig Deeper that's a weightlifting because he's doing competitive bodybuilding now. Nice. So if you ever wanted like a program to follow, I'm sure you have your own thing going on, but he's hilarious. So you like laugh while you're lifting really heavy and it's a lot of fun. Like, I'm
gonna write that down wherever my pen is.
I'll send you the link.
Send it to me.
We'll make sure you get that info. Once again, thanks everybody for checking on Instagram. We have reached over 1,000 followers. I got a lot of hockey guys on here. Our good James Brennan. James Brennan, fan of the show. Thanks for checking in. My captain of Team Moose, my man Jerry. Thanks for checking in. Sam Chapman, thanks for checking in. Stop fighting on the ice so I don't have to give you misconduct. Officially hit over 1,000 watches on Instagram. So thanks for checking in. Make sure you follow our man Mark at the Great Media Comic Con on social media. You ready to get a little rapid fire with our guy? We'll do a little rapid fire?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. And just before we get into this, Mark, thank you so much for sharing all that. I think that the audience, including myself, we got to learn a little bit about you, your background, the struggles in life, and I think it leads to a good, fun thing that we like to do with our guests, which is the old rapid fire. And the rapid fire is brought to you by Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go, the book. That is what was sponsoring Rapid Fire today with Mark. So make sure you pick yourself up a copy. So let's get into it. I'm going to put these up on the screen. Sid's going to read them. First thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah, do not overthink it. First thing. Okay. After Delco Batman, who has to be your favorite Batman? Who is your favorite one after him?
I like Nolan's Batman.
Nolan's Batman. Okay. Question 2. Who is your dream Comic-Con guest? After this year, you got everybody you want this year, right? Wink. So who's your dream Comic-Con guest?
Bruce Boxleitner, I would absolutely love. He plays the voice of Tron. I'm a huge Tron nerd.
Nice.
So literally my gym is called The Grid. So yeah, he's one of them. And I'll be honest, I would absolutely kill for Lance Henriksen, who plays Bishop from Aliens.
Okay.
He's God bless him. I would absolutely kill for those two guys. Yep.
Excellent.
Make sure all of our wonderful viewers tags them 2 names. Let's get them to hear this. And trust me, let me tell you something about me and Sid. We will reach out to these people. So when we
we
get a
have
call
no
from us
shame.
a year from now, be like, yo, dude, we got them. Do not
I'll
be
just keep
surprised.
appearing in their posts until they're like, wait, who's that? I'll be like, hey, guess what?
Absolutely. Let's do number 3. Here we go.
If you could only do one exercise for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh man, that's not easy. You should see what I do. You should.
What popped into your head first?
Oh man, one exercise. I guess. I mean, I'm not even good at them, but it's probably the most useful exercise you can do, and that's squats.
Okay, that's not what I was thinking. I would have said, and I hate them, they're the devil, but burpees, because they're useful with the plank, the push-up, the
right.
And I'm 100%, like I'm like Buck Furpies, hate them, but they're the worst.
Terrible.
Yeah,
I would about pull-ups. Pull-ups is a good strong one. It keeps that strength going. They are not easy to do.
I can't do them.
That's why if I could do one the rest of my life and master pull-ups, beast mode.
Yeah, dude, it would be that or dips, man. It would be that.
They're
dips going. Yeah, how you position yourself. Yeah, dips or squats.
Did you guys have to do the president's physical fitness test in gym? Did you guys have that, or because I'm older than you guys? Like where they would have the soldiers come in and make you do the things. I would have a Marine pick me up and go 1 and count it like on the pull-up bar because I couldn't do it.
What school did you go to, bro? What school did you go to?
It was a public school. That's all.
All right, let's keep.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
Yeah. We love school. Go school.
Yeah, your favorite Delco word?
John.
Yes, John. I was going to go John or Wooder.
Yeah,
Water.
I say water. I'm weird. I'm not. I say water.
That's like a Delaware person.
Jeez. So Delco. He's so get out of here. He's so Delco. I'm gonna take this 5th one just because of little connection purposes. And we'll go into it. What would your theme song be if you were a professional wrestler? You know how important they are.
Man, I had one that I used to come out with. So I was a manager in professional wrestling. So long story, I was a manager. So I would come out with my best friend who wrestled. So we had, I think 2 or 3. We came out to, my favorite one that we came out to was the Battletoads theme from Killer Instinct, the video game.
That's
And it was it was an absolute banger. And people, when we came out to it, it was stark contrast versus every other wrestler who came out to rap, hardcore metal, or some goofy glam 80s rock, right? Ours was like this like synthwave chip tune meets metal kind of sound, and people were like, what is this? You know what I mean? So
I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, and I'll give you mine too. What was your favorite theme song? And you too, Sid. What was like your favorite theme song? Like watching wrestling, like do you have a favorite theme? So for mine, for example, Triple H's "My Time," which eventually became Stephanie McMahon's theme song. The "My Time" theme song I thought was so dope, dude.
So good.
It was so dope. Edge always had some really good theme songs too.
I don't remember any of the themes. Like I can't think of any of them. But for me, when I was dancing, my song was "Ba Wada Ba" by Kid Rock because I'd get on stage and the DJ would go, "Her name is Sid," and I'd be like, "Whoa!" You know, like, so that would have to be my theme song.
I love that. That's a great tune, dude. That's a song that like. If you remember the movie Ready to Rumble, like, oh my god!
You know, and it's dated now with the beepers and everything, but it's still a great tune. You know,
I remember seeing Ready to Rumble for the first time, and David Arquette ride down the motorcycle to it. Remember the movie Ready to Rumble?
Dude. Yeah, unfortunately,
so bad, dude.
So bad.
Jimmy the King was like fucking.
Dude,
that's so funny.
I don't know how. That's such a ridiculous. Yeah. The end of WCW for sure.
Yes, that was literally the end of WCW. But all right. Well, that's what we have for rapid fire. We'll we'll start the transition now. We got to learn about you. Once again, we got Mark on. Follow the Great Media Comic Con on all the social media platforms, but do not forget to make sure you follow Sydnee everywhere that she's. You can find her social media, YouTube. We'll have all those links and all of Mark's links as well. Let's now get it. We obviously learned a little bit about like the start of like why you wanted to do Comic Con. Talk to us about like what we can expect now. Let's talk about that a little bit about that as long as it's
sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
well, I was just going to say real quick before you get into that, I had this whole plan, and as typical, it fell out of my ear before I came in here because I did go to the Media Comic Con last year, and I think it was my first Comic Con. Like I've been to video game cons, but I think that was my first Comic Con. And so my plan was I was going to show off my comic book collection to show people that you don't have to be really into comics to have a good time at a Comic Con. Like
Yeah.
Because my comics, I have 3 comics that are Clerks, the movie, and I have 1 that's Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
The entire collection. I had a blast at Comic-Con last year. There is so much to do, and it's so fun. So I wanted to encourage people, don't hear Comic-Con and just think, well, I'm not into comics, so I'm not going to go. There's so much more to it than that.
And I have never been the one ever. So this is my first one. Like before we dive into like a little announcement that Sid and I are going to be doing, like this is my first time ever being part of any kind of Comic-Con. And I'm glad that this is the first one. I'm happy to be able to be a part of it, whether it be involved or a spectator. So like Sid said, you know, just because you're not into comics, I know that I was always into sports. That was always my thing. I'm really excited because I've heard so many great things about this one in particular as well, the Great Media Comic Con. So yeah, hands down, this was going to be my first one. And why not? I encourage everybody, whether it's a first time or your 50th, get to the Great Media Comic Con the 12th, the 13th, and the 14th. It's going to be a great, incredible time, and you'll certainly be seeing Sydnee and I floating around, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that. But we'll throw the flyer up here. Here it is right here. We're hiding behind it, but we are still here, everybody. The Great Media Comic Con, April 12th through 14th. Check out the website. We got some great things here. I guess we'll go into it now with you, Mark. You tell us about the first night and what people can expect on that first night, and we'll go more into it.
Sure. So it actually kicks off Friday night, which is April 12th. That is so for the first time ever, kind of like to back it all up a little bit, but we are taking over the media theater for the first time in 30 years. A major motion picture will be shown at the media theater. It's Back to the Future. Yeah. Claudia Wells, who played Jennifer Parker, Marty McFly's girlfriend in the movie, she will be there. On top of it, we're going to have, Back to the Future DeLorean out on State Street. And then we will also have Back to the Future themed drinks. We will have hold on, I'm drawing a blank. We're going to have, there she is. And then we'll have a Q&A session with her after. And we're going to have a Back to the Future themed cosplay contest. So if you're come dressed as a Back to the Future character. You could win a big prize. And then on top of it, we have Delco the movie will make its world premiere trailer at this event.
Look for the lunch lady.
Yeah, this is crazy. So it is a action-packed night, and for the price of the VIP experience, you also get to go to the Great Media Comic Con, which is then Saturday and Sunday. You get to go for the whole weekend. It's an incredible package with a value. Honestly, it's crazy. I don't know. Everyone yelled at me when we set the prices, but I said, look, this is what we're doing. We're trying to make this as affordable for families as possible. This isn't just an experience. This is something groundbreaking, historic for people to take part of. And that's what I really want people to come out Friday night to have a lot of fun.
I love that. And then can't put a price tag on memories. That's what I always say.
100%, yeah.
Last year when I went, I brought 2 of my kids and my nephew, and I kept making sure that I had 4 tickets because I'm like, did I not pay? Like really, you get so much for the cost of the entrance. And if you're getting the VIP package, so you're getting this movie experience too. Yeah. I cannot wait. Like I'm super excited.
It's crazy. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, it's going to be great. I mean, just to hear it about just the first night alone, and then all like there's tons of vendors. And like I said, make sure you're following Mark on all of his social medias. He's extremely active. We're also going to be picking up some of that leading into Comic-Con. Of all the people, all the vendors that are going to be there. I mean, there's a ton. If you want to talk a little bit about a couple of them, by all means. Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, so the next day at the Comic-Con, for the next 2 days, we have over 25 vendors. We've got returning guests like Rob Hughes of WinterCon in Upper Darby. Shout out to our sister con. They're always they've been very, very supportive of us, and we're very, very thankful for them. We've got guys like Comic Universe, which I do have to make an announcement. Don't let me do it without getting off this podcast. I have an announcement later about Comic Universe and us. We're going to break ground. Yeah, we're going to make breaking news today with them. So,
news. Excellent.
Comic Universe has come back. We've got guys like Stormwind Collectibles. This is their first year with us. And we have returning artists like Raven Amaro, Alter Ego Comics, who was a big hit last year. And that was his first con last year. His first Comic-Con. He came out and he's toured the country since then. He's doing absolutely outstanding. Big shout to Aleem. That is Aleem. Yeah, big shout out to Aleem. Yeah. So we're ecstatic to have so many of these artists and these vendors come back, and we've got some new faces. And I can't even go through the list of all of them, but I'm personally super excited for so many of these. We've got the Finest, which is a nonprofit veteran. They dress up as G.I. Joes. They cosplay as G.I. Joes. And this was a big get for me personally. I worked really hard on trying to get them. Is they are like the PA branch is one of the biggest in the country. They're in 40 or 50 states. The PA branch, I've seen at other cons. I'm super excited. Yeah, they're stupid. I don't know who's coming. I don't know if it's going to be Sergeant Slaughter or
the Sarge.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember Cobra Commander. I'm trying to remember the G.I. Joe. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the G.I. Joe name.
All I remember is knowing is half the battle. Like, because my brother used to watch that cartoon, so I watched it too.
I love G.I. Joe.
Coming to the con is half the battle. So
absolutely, yes. Yeah, I'm excited. Like last year, there was, retired Wonder Woman made my life. She was hilarious.
I heard so much about her.
I have the little, she gave me her postcard that she kissed, with the lipstick. Hysterical. Yeah. And then a couple months ago, I went to Rocky Horror with my brother. And we're sitting there, and 2 rows ahead, I'm slapping him. I'm like, that's retired Wonder Woman. I recognize the hair.
Yeah.
And we get to the part where you throw the toilet paper, and I'm not athletic at all. I clocked her in the back of the head by accident trying to throw the toilet paper because it got stuck in my hand. But I think the wig was so floofy she didn't notice. So I was
thank God! Yeah,
I felt at least it was a toilet paper. It wasn't
right.
You hit her in the back of the head.
She was Wonder Woman. She should have seen it coming. Now she's retired.
Good point. I'll make point of that for sure. She should have.
But when I saw her afterwards, I was like, I met you at Media Comic-Con. You were so fun. So I love the people that you have and the artists. I have my stickers I bought last year from one of the artists, and there's just so much to see and people to talk to. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's an absolute blast. I'm super excited. And then we've got besides Claudia Wells being there all weekend from Back to the Future, we've got John Swayze, who is one of the biggest names in anime. He plays, I'm going to be honest, I don't know a whole lot about anime, but I know all the names of the stuff that he's been in. I recognize it. He's been stuff I haven't recognized, but he's from My Hero Academia. He does the voice of All for One, who's the main villain. He does Sir Crocodile from One Piece. He was in Borderlands, the video game, which has a movie coming out. Yeah, nice. So this guy, he's one of the biggest names, easy, in anime, and we are so grateful he's coming. Super happy. And then we've got James Stokes, who played Jason Voorhees. He's also going to be.
I cannot wait to meet him.
James. Yeah, if you haven't met James yet, you got to, because he's one of the sweetest guys. He's honestly been a really good friend, making through the process of all this. He's been very patient with us as a new con, and he's awesome. We're super excited to see James come back. We've got the Console War guys who they're YouTubers. They do Super Nintendo games versus Sega games. Which one's the better? They're awesome, and I'm gonna be honest, they're hilarious. If you
That's
haven't watched their YouTube stuff, you should definitely check it out. It's funny.
I love that.
Yeah.
We'll
So
definitely be sure to check that out. We got some comments here. Got to give love. My Aunt Paula. Hey guys, my Uncle Kush, sweet toss for hitting the lunch lady in the back of the head. And then my Aunt Paula likes to finish off with I like Underdog and Hong Kong Phooey. So she was referring to the gentleman that does a lot of those voices for anime.
okay, yeah.
I'll have to get them to come down.
I like how you called retired Wonder Woman the lunch lady.
The lunch lady.
I'm one of the lunch ladies in Delco.
You're one of the lunch ladies. Did I call her a lunch lady? Did I call her?
You called her a lunch lady, yeah.
I can't keep up.
I get to
so
be
many characters, Sid. It's impossible. Thanks everybody for checking on Instagram. I got my main man Say Cheese Studios. My man Joe, thanks for checking in. My buddy Sean, my hockey team. I know Frankie, great guy, less than average hockey player. Thank you for that, Sean. Thanks for the views, buddy. Good stuff all the way around. But jam-packed weekend. So
yeah,
I'm really, really excited to hear it. And we're going to kind of break a little news on our end because we got to talking with you about the idea that we had, and we'll kind of break it now on the show. So Sid and I came up with some cool ideas to kind of get involved more, do some more promotion, some content. Most people know I do a lot of photography work, so I also will be there. Thank you again to Mark for having me do some photography for the event for him. I'll be there, so you'll be seeing me walk around with the camera, but that's not all. We have the wonderful Sydnee A will be the reporter on scene.
That's
breaking news. The reporter on scene.
Reporter. Isn't that a
Did
thing?
you
A
come up with
roving
that?
reporter?
Did you
No,
come
it's a
up with that?
thing. It's a
That's
thing.
epic.
It's
That's
a lunch
your
lady
thing.
thing.
It's a lunch lady thing. You
It's
gotta
another
get
one
an
of my
orange
characters.
slicker. You gotta get an orange slicker so you can be April O'Neil, the reporter.
Isn't she's Ninja Turtles, right?
Ninja Turtles, that's right.
We were
Yeah.
talking about
Because
that.
I was saying I could do her, I could do Lois Lane one day.
Sure.
I was
Yeah.
gonna do,
You know,
so
like
we might switch it up every day. So every day we're gonna kind of come in with a new gimmick.
Okay.
it's a cosplay area, so I can cosplay.
Yeah.
Yes. And
That's
my
right.
first time.
Yeah.
I know one day I'm definitely coming as a hot dog, like a hot dog costume. It's
He
been a
just
dream of
wants
mine
to be
do
a
that.
hot dog. I don't
know why.
understand.
Is that
Why
a thing? Is that a thing?
He wants attention. That's what it is, and he's hot dogging for it. So
I'm hot dogging for it. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go
Wiener.
around. We want yeah, right. We want to hear from the fans there. If we come up to you, you'll see us walking around. Come do a little interview. Tell us your thoughts. Tell us how much fun you're having. We want to hear about it, and we're going to make a big promo video for the end of Comic-Con, and that will be distributed. So you'll be in the video. You'll be in the video. You're going to be in the video, which is a great thing to be in, and it's also a great thing to get your tickets now for the Comic-Con. I think there's probably 3 left, so hopefully us 3 get in there. I'll tell you that much.
I'll be like, sorry,
Get your
I've got your tickets for you too. I've got your pay.
I got your tickets.
Yeah.
My uncle wants to be the Easter Bunny.
Okay.
I'll have to get them to come down. Grab your
We'll
tickets.
have to get our
Uncle
friend to come
Will.
as Scooby-Doo. Our friend from the Camp Out for Hunger.
From the
Yeah,
camp. You know what? I'll
she
reach
was
out to April.
Scooby-Doo all day. She wore that costume the whole day in that
did.
tent. I don't know how, but she's awesome.
I will reach out. I will reach out to them. And actually, you know what? Maybe what I could do is I could reach out to Preston Steve and have the Comic-Con promoted on mmr.com.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give them a
That'll be
little.
awesome.
Yeah. I'll give them a plug. Yeah. Like I always, we
There
end
you
up
go,
always
yes.
doing. There it is.
Woo!
We always end up doing an MMR. We always do an MMR plug at some point during one of our
That's
shows.
how
but
we met. So
that's
it
how we
always
met.
comes out up because we met at the Camp Out for Hunger. So
Okay.
somehow or another, we always
Yeah.
circle back to MMR.
So
But
you know
before
what? Yeah.
we forget, you said you had an announcement too, Mark, and I
I
don't want
do,
you to forget.
yes. March 30th, down at Comic Universe, one of my partners, Frank Percy, who's a legendary illustrator and inker. I work for Marvel, DC Comics, he works for everybody. He will be doing a first-time signing in like 15 years at Comic Universe. Delco Batman will be there. We'll be there. It's going to be awesome. So it's pretty groundbreaking that we're going to be able to work with Comic Universe like this and help promote the show and help promote Frank. And make sure to check out all his socks that he sells. Don't do that. He hates it when I mention that he sold socks, but I love the socks, Frank. They're great.
And I love your name, Frank. I love your name. So you're good in my book. Maybe we'll have to get both you guys on closer to the date. And
I
and
just
maybe
met
promote that.
Frank this past week on a
Oh,
podcast I was
yeah.
a guest on, and he was so sweet, and I loved him, and Matt too. So
Yeah.
I'm so happy you're promoting something he's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
Involved in with you too. It's like we're all connected. I love it.
It's a
Like
great
everybody
feeling.
knows everybody, and
It's Delco.
Delco. It's Delco. Yeah.
Frank got pulled in from New York. He's Delco now. We snagged him.
I got pulled in from Northeast Philadelphia, but I mean, I'm not that far from there. I mean, people have.
Where in the Northeast?
Royal Park,
Okay.
far Northeast. So like for Archbishop Bryan area.
Okay.
High school.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I love
I
that.
used
Make
to
sure you
manage
get.
a place in the Northeast. That's my only Northeast connection. Was
I
I was a manager.
I know what
You
place
know where
too.
it was.
I
It's
know
a
what place
chicken
it is.
place now. You never know. You can still get breasts and thighs, but it's not the same.
Ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba. That was great.
But
Make sure you get us all that info, Mark. We'll definitely get that promoted for you when it comes closer. And if you want, have a conversation with Frank. If you want before the 30th, we can get you on for a couple minutes or however time you guys have, and we'll
Absolutely.
promote that before it comes up.
Love to. Thank you.
I'll throw it back in the hands of Sid as we start to transition out.
well, we were talking about your promoters and your sponsors, and I know one of them is Rags to Riches.
Yes,
right?
I was gonna. Yes,
The
bringing it
dog.
home. Yup,
Yes, and I know you adopted.
I
a
did.
friend from them.
Rags to Riches has been an awesome sponsor now 2 years running. We have a lot of awesome sponsors. I just want to say all of our sponsors are awesome. I'm incredibly grateful for all of them. And we're getting more as we go into the event. But Rags to Riches has a special place in my heart because I adopted the Wonder Dog last year. So they brought a dog, and she was having a panic attack outside, but
Aw.
she is a absolute sweetheart. Come here. Oh man, she just rolled over and looked at me. Come here,
I
you.
saw the picture of her you posted earlier when she was just
Yeah,
chilling on the couch.
Come here. Oh. This is Ori.
Hi, Ori. Oh, how cute are you?
Oh,
Come here,
look at
baby.
the dog. Beautiful dog. I think
Don't
my
tell
dog's
me.
actually eating. My dog's eating my underwear somewhere, so I'm gonna have to let him
here,
just
Muff.
do his thing.
So
This is
I
on
adopted, yeah, I adopted her. She is a Chihuahua pit bull mix, and
Aw.
she's missing a lip because she apparently got in a fight with a coyote down
Oh
in
my
Texas or something. And she is my little pup, and she is quite a handful. But she is a sweetheart, and I am so thankful for Rags to Riches for introducing us. They made the process really wonderful for adopting her. They really worked extra hard for me, and I appreciate it. I actually volunteered and went down there to help them out. So I'm very thankful for the relationship our company has built with just sponsors, and they're just really honestly just one example of all of our awesome sponsors. This one just happens to be, I have
Of
a
course,
product
'cause you
right in the
got your
house. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And she's a superhero too, fighting a coyote, girl.
she's
like-
crazy.
Yeah,
She's
like
crazy.
Sure.
Everybody knows she's crazy. But this is my pup. So
Aw. I have two labs. I have a yellow lab named
I love
Lexi, who's 11. We call her the Loaf. And then we have Muffy, who just turned 2. I don't know if you guys have been hearing. She's been howling this entire hour.
Mhm.
And she just came in, but
I know Muffy. I know Muffy personally.
Muffy loves
The first show that we
Frankie.
did, Sid and I, the dog. There's pictures of the dog just like sucking my face as I'm just doing this.
I was
like,
going to say,
was
Muffy got a
audio
dental
only.
cleaning
Yeah.
from my dog. She loved him.
Yeah, same.
You do that.
Yeah, it was awesome. Save a few
But I
bucks,
love that we're
but,
all dog people too. It's
Yeah.
like it's really cool
I
how
get up it.
how much like people just have in common when you stop to talk to them. You never know what
yeah.
they're gonna
The
have.
power
in
of
common with people.
podcasting.
Yeah, nobody stops to
The
talk to me when I walk Ori though, because she's absolutely a terror. So
We have an electric
can't even
fence.
walk
I don't walk
Major.
my dogs.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Major's a
can't even
big
walk
boy,
Major. Major's
He's a
huge.
big
Yeah,
boy.
he's part mastodon and something else. He's a
Mastodon. You mean
yeah.
mastodon?
Mastiff, yeah, Mastiff.
He's part
I
Kraken.
like Mastodon way better though.
I
That
like
sounds really
that.
cool.
That's
It
badass.
sounded really good, and that's what I'm gonna roll with.
Here's my woolly
Um,
mammoth and
My uncle's
French
dog
bulldog.
Ziggy is here next to us.
Aw.
Thank you
That's
for
so cute.
everybody. Thank you for everybody checking on Instagram. We're gonna end the Instagram live video now. Make sure you follow Mark on all of his social media platforms on the Great Media Comic-Con. Thank you for everybody joining on Instagram.
And it's only about a month away. Get your tickets now.
33 days.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
33
Seating
days.
is limited at the Back to the Future event. We can only fit so many people in there.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Get there.
Yeah, get
It's
your
your density.
tickets for sure.
That's like my favorite line from the movie when he's like, "I'm your density." So it's your density to come see the movie.
Yeah. I love it. Yes, perfect.
That's awesome. Oh, what's this? We're having trouble streaming to Instagram.
No, you're good. That's my end. I already.
I was like, I
Instagram.
just got a big error in my face. It
No, you're
scared me.
good. I know. Don't worry. The producer stuff. That's the best thing about doing a live show is that you get to see like all the little things.
You
that
get to
come with,
see
like,
me
love it.
learning as we go along because like
Mhm.
I'm a baby podcaster and I'm like very like I'm just having a blast. So
Yeah, you're
that's
killing it.
I'm learning as I
Just
go.
keep having fun. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm. Yeah, she's doing awesome.
Exactly.
But we can't wait
you.
to be there, Mark. Thanks again for having us be a part of it.
Absolutely.
And like I said, tickets are flying. We're gonna be doing a lot of promo leading up into the con. So if you get tired of us, then just follow the other social media and you'll see it more on there as well. I'll definitely get some information from you, Mark, and maybe we have time. I'm pretty sure we could probably get that promoted on MMR. So we'll talk afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll put all of the links in the show notes too.
So my uncle's quoting, sorry, just finishing up the second coat now, Mr. McFly. I have a terrible
Is that a bit?
I've never seen Back to the Future, by the way.
Get off of my podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
No, you need to get yourself an orange vest.
I love the vest. I have an orange vest, or I had one. And people always used to say I looked like Marty McFly, and I knew where it was from. I knew the name, but I have never seen the movie. Mark is looking at me in disgust right now.
I know.
Yeah, bro, it's like the top 10 films.
Guessing.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I don't know.
See, I'm such a horror movie guy, and like not to mention, I have the ADHD of a gnat. So sitting and watching a movie is actually very difficult for me to do.
Well, if you really think about it, time travel is pretty freaking scary. You know what I mean?
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that I think about it, maybe I'll put it on and I'll make that some homework. And then
there you go.
The next episode that we do, Sid, I'll give some feedback on.
There you go. Because Christopher Lloyd is fantastic.
I know he's incredible in it. Yeah.
Like my best friend growing up, who actually today would have been her birthday, she passed away. So like it's kind of funny. We're talking about this movie now. We were, younger when it came out, and we used to just laugh at the damn. And then he's like, damn. Like that was like the funniest thing when Doc's like, damn. We used to say it all the time, like, hee, we said something bad because we were little when it came out. So that movie to me like gives me good warm fuzzies thinking about her. So
you just reminded me of a story now. So your word was damn. My word was saying shit and ironic from Alanis Morissette when she says
chicken shit.
That was like my like
oh, that your bad word. We used to go, shh, it's around the corner. Like when you're little. And
oh my god, get out of here, dude.
Yeah, we're corny. I'm so corny. You can't uncorny yourself. Once you're corny, you're corny. There's no uncornying yourself.
It's in the genes. Yeah, it's in the genes.
I am the mom of dad jokes. I love them. Like it's all good. So it makes life more fun.
Oh man, this is great. We're getting some good news, my friend. I'm gonna break this news. Hold on. Whew. It's always the stories, and I'm gonna go back to what we were talking about, Mark. I got a friend of mine that just reached out. Really good friend of mine, Jason Miller. He's a big fan of Jameson. He comes out to a lot of shows. He's gonna get tickets for Media Comic-Con. But thanked you for talking about your mental health journey. And it pulled him out of a bad place today. And he said he loved you. He's a good friend of mine. So just wanted to say that, dude. So once again, doing stuff like this, man.
always keep talking about it because you never know who's listening and who's going to benefit. So that's wonderful that
That's why one of the reasons
Can
why I
I
do this.
sending
can
love.
can I say something as we wrap up too? Do you mind if I just take 5 minutes after that?
We
So
always like to give the floor.
yeah,
Sure.
so just a little bit more about that. And obviously, I can come back, and I love to talk about this stuff. I told Frankie that, and you as well, Sydney, you know that. One of the things, guys, is I want to talk about is that comes into the message in the chat is, when you're struggling with that stuff, is finding your why.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is sometimes it isn't as simple as you think, and it's about looking around at those who surround you and support you and finding your why. And the reason I started this Comic-Con and I really truly believed it. And at first it was just starting a Comic-Con, but then quickly it started to click in my mind when I had a conversation with my mother. And my mother is one of my reasons why is I watched my mom, a single mom, raise 4 kids and struggle. I remember a year where she walked to work every day and we didn't have a TV. Like, this is what I watched is my mom struggle, work 3 jobs, put herself through college. And meanwhile, as a teenager, I am totally taking everything for granted in my life. And I look back now and I say I took a lot for granted. But now I've learned my why, and my why is my family that I absolutely love, and I don't ever want to see them go through the things that I've seen some of families go through with loss. And it motivates me. My mother couldn't make it to last year's Comic-Con. She got back surgery. She couldn't even walk.
Wow.
And it broke my heart. My sister came. She had a blast. My other sister lives in North Carolina. My brother lives somewhere in California. But my older sister called me just a couple weeks ago to talk about how proud she is of me. And it isn't the praise that I'm worried about. It isn't the praise, but it's about the change in people's vision of myself and how they look at me. And it is my reason why is because I want to build something, not just so people say that you survived, but that I thrive.
Yes.
Success
Man.
isn't about what's in your bank account. It's about the people that tell you they love you every day. I wake up every day and I put my feet on the ground and I have a wall built with pictures of my best friend and me. I have a picture that somebody gave to me recently to remind me that I'm a king. And I have another picture from another friend that says with a quote on it, "The wind is strong today, but you are stronger."
Love that.
I
babe.
love
So
that.
every day, find your reason why. Wake up grateful for every second given to you, because it can go very quickly.
Amen. It
So-
really
Amen,
can.
brother.
So.
I really appreciate that. And thanks again, Jason, for checking in. He's buying 2 tickets for him and his little one, so we'll have a
Aw.
chance to introduce you to Jason
I
at
would
the
love,
show.
yeah, I would love if he met me. I'd like to shake his hand. Would
Yeah.
give him a hug. Yeah. So
Yeah, thank you for checking
That's
in, Jason. We love
awesome.
you, brother. He's a big fan of all the shows that we do. Going from the My Crazy Exes to Learn to Go the podcast. But man, what a great show! We got to cover the con. We got to learn a lot about Mark today. I'm gonna
And I
put
was
it in the
gonna say,
hands of
I don't-
Sydney.
I don't
Yeah.
think this is our last show together because
no,
this
no,
was so
I love
fun.
this. This was
Like,
great.
I
Yeah.
just want to get together and talk about whatever, like
Yeah.
from dogs to movies to like
Good. Yeah.
next year's con because it's going to be even bigger. I know you're not even thinking about that one yet because you got 33 days till this one.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff.
But the fact that you have the amount of people there and different things to offer, and it just shows your character and how much you're committed to this. And the fact that these people are like, yeah, we're absolutely working with you. It's your second con. It just is a tribute to you. And that's awesome.
I love
So-
it. I love learning the messages behind it, learning more about you, and just and we're definitely going to talk more because I got to have you on the Outnumbered show, the mental health podcast that me and Bill have. Like,
Love
we
it.
have a lot in common. That
Sure.
and we'll dive into all that because we could just keep
Yeah.
going. But we got to thank Mark for coming on. Don't forget the Great Media Comic Con's coming up. Give him a follow. Get your tickets
Yes,
on the
I love it.
on the website. There's the poster. We'll make sure we give that a little clippy. My Uncle Will says congratulations, my friend. My aunt, Uncle Will's girlfriend, says that she has a semicolon.
Yeah, we know what that means. Absolutely.
Jason's checking in from the phone right here once again, saying, "Love it, love everything, thank you." So he's messaging me. He's personally messaging me.
Okay.
Jason, thanks for checking in. I know you'll eventually be watching this soon. everybody's hitting you with the congratulations, man. Media Comic-Con, get there April 12th, 13th, and 14th. Probably the 15th, 16th, 17th. Who knows how long this thing will go for.
No, I
Frankie,
can't.
don't do that. Don't say that. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Where am I? You're at the Media Comic-Con again, brother. Sydnee, hit us with our final thought, and well, not our final thought. Give us our
my
outro.
usual outro. Well, I was going to say we'll make sure that we get all of the links to buy tickets out there. And as usual, if you have a story that you want us to talk about, you want to share, you want to be a guest, you want me to be a guest, hit me up at Sydnee@learnedandgogo.com. You can reach out to me anytime if you need an ear. I'm hearing imperative one. The other one is happy to listen. Always here for you guys. So as always, and I just want to say thank you to Mark again. Thank you to Frankie for taking care of these errors that are popping up and freaking me out. The big producer stuff. And remember, when life hits you with things, always take it on head on. Because when you do the ostrich syndrome, you stick your head in the sand. You think you're hiding from the world, but everybody else just sees a big ass. Love you guys. Bye.
Love ya.